Boy, you a sports fan, you was with the two, man. Who the loose fan, with everything, man. Court side, so please. This nigga play by play, when they want the field deal, this is all you gotta say. Nothing's out of bounds, he's good, we can go on. Nothing's out of bounds, he's good, we can go on. Nothing's out of bounds, he's good, we can go on. Nothing's out of bounds, he's good, we can go on. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Rooting for Laundry, episode 22. My name is Johnny McDonald. Thank you for joining us. You can follow us at Root for Laundry, as it says on the ticker, on IG and Twitter. Let's get down to it. We're covering the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Pittsburgh Steelers, legendary team, tied with the New England Patriots for 6 Super Bowl wins all time. And today's guest, we have comedian. He's been on everything, HBO, Showtime, SiriusXM. And he has an album coming out, a Zoom comedy album called Stop Telling People That on Comedy Records. Give it up for Dustin Chafin.
Yay.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, buddy? I'm good, man. I'm all right.
Oh, man, thank you.
I'm excited. Yeah, actually, my first album was Stop Telling People That. And then this one that I recorded in the Zoom is called Still Telling People That. So
Still telling people that. Okay. Yeah, I read it because I put Stop Telling People That, but
all good.
Still telling people that. It's very important.
Even in a pandemic, we're still doing jokes. And that's kind of what we're doing. Cool, man.
Yes. So
sorry about my green screen. I couldn't get it going, so I just put a towel.
StreamYard, get on it, please. Please get on it, StreamYard. All right. So I know you're from Texas, but you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. How did that become to be?
I'm from all over Texas, but most of my adolescence was near Dallas Stadium. There in Arlington. My entire existence as a young kid from ages, 4 to probably 8 or 9, it was all Dallas Cowboys. It was like, they push that shit on you. They make you wear the jackets. They make you wear the hats, and then it's, they make you get that stupid Dallas Cowboy poster at McDonald's. So I had that, so who all the players are. And, so it was really pushed on me, as a kid. And that's the thing too. I think it's funny. I don't know if you talk about it much, but the idea of like you have to like the team where you're from, like I think is ridiculous.
I think that back then that was true. Now I don't think not so much because I mean you could research a team and find your
people
team
still
anywhere.
give me shit. Trust me, they do. 2 days ago I was doing a outdoor show and some guy's a Cleveland Browns fan and he's giving me shit. He's like, "Hey, are you from Pittsburgh?" I go, "No, I'm from down." I go, "Oh, I don't want to hear it. I'm from Cleveland, and we don't have a choice." I go, "You have a fucking choice."
Yeah,
So
many
anyway,
choices.
It's like, but you got the Cavs, you get the LeBron. Shut up, you know what I mean? So you got a shitty football team. Who cares? So it was all Cowboys, and then it's like I kind of started. Just loving the idea of the Steelers because they were kind of like this mystical team. They were like, they were kind of the bad boys from the Cowboys. There were two teams back then. It was pretty much the Cowboys and the Steelers. And so it was like those were the big popular teams, and like the Raiders, and there were a couple others, but it was mostly those two. And they kind of represented the good and bad. And I don't know, I was just kind of attracted to the black uniforms. That defense, Mean Joe Green.
Steel curtain.
I think that, Joe Green, Greenwood, White Holmes, like that crew of guys were amazing. And I think that silly Coke commercial where Mean Joe Green throws that kid in the jersey.
I remember that.
I mean, they ran that on a loop. And so, I'm just like, I'm ahead. And then I was also, it's like, Terry Bradshaw was hilarious. Like he was in like movies and shit. Like he was like a country.
Yeah, he's a star.
Guy.
Yeah.
So it was like he was so fun, and I think I got drawn to all that. And then I remember it was a Super Bowl. I think it was maybe '79. They played the Cowboys, and it was. My dad was. I told him I like the Steelers, and my dad said, no son of mine is going to like the Steelers. And I said, Dad, I'll bet you that they win. He goes, "How much you got?" And I think from mowing lawns, I had like $7. I go, "I'll bet you $7 the Steelers beat the Cowboys." And somebody else was like, "Yeah, whatever. You're totally gonna lose all your money." And they beat them. And it was like such bragging rights in my house. I was just like the only one that was like, ah ha ha. The only one that was happy on the day that they lost to the Cowboys. So I don't know, it just kind of came from there. I'm kind of a rebel. So it was like I kind of against my family kind of thing. And like
absolutely, yeah.
And so, and then I just loved them over the years. They always have like splash players and, always good coaching. They had like three coaches. And,
coaches, their whole tenure.
Yeah.
And it's
so,
crazy.
Chuck Noll's amazing, and everything. So, yeah, just all that era and just kind of, kind of got into them, and stayed with them. And even we've had some great years, but we've also had some really bad years. And the hardest part about being a Steeler fan is we're usually better than most teams, but we lose to a shitty team right before playoffs. And then it screws us up, and then we have to play on the road, and then we end up losing to the Ravens or something that shouldn't have happened. We should have had a home field out, but we lose to like Miami or something right when we need to win. And so it's very frustrating being Steeler fans over the years, but it's been a lot of fun,
it's mostly success.
Yeah, successful. But the sad thing is, like you brought up the Patriots being tied. Here's the sad part about that. Brady is tied with the Steelers.
Yeah, that's true.
So, one human being from like 75 to like 2009. Like that's, that's the scary part. But so I'm kind of glad he's over on the NFC. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
But so Steelers, that's kind of what it was. And I've met some friends, and I know a girl, she used to, her baby mom, she's a baby mama to Ryan Clark. And so we kind of got some access to stuff, and I just kind of connect to Steeler fans, and I really like being a Steeler fan because it's a huge group of people all over the world.
Oh yeah, there's probably there's a bunch of probably bars, the Pittsburgh
everywhere.
bars.
I mean Mexico, all over. Like, they're everywhere. You meet a guy, and so there's some in New York and stuff. So I enjoy being a Steelers fan. It's just a lot of fun. So that's kind of where it started, is from kind of like just pissing off my parents.
You mentioned Mean Joe Green, and it's weird that I was reading up on Steelers stuff, and like Mean Joe Green and Ernie Stautner are the only two numbers that are officially retired by the Steelers.
Oh wow!
We have so many greats like Terry Bradshaw, Lynn Swann, Jerome Bettis, and like Franco Harris, and I'm like, these guys' numbers. I know it's a lot of greats, so you probably can't retire everybody's number, but most of these guys I mentioned are in the Hall of Fame. It's just curious to why that is. But
well, I think the same reason we don't have cheerleaders, like it's because of Ben. But anyway,
yeah, keep them away.
But no, I think it's but when I say that, I mean it's like they're about a unit, it's really just about the team itself. And so I would think that if I were to speak for the Steelers, it would have something to do with that, where it's like it really has to be a big deal for them to retire your number, because I feel like it's the organization that wins the championships. And we do have breakout stars for sure.
Yeah,
but
Hall of Famers, that's what's shocking more than that.
Hall of Famers for sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Polamalu will be retired soon. Like I would put money on that. Yeah, his numbers. I would put money on it. Number 43 is going to be retired in the next few years. I would think. I mean, he's the greatest safety of all time, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think it just and that's the thing. The Steelers, you really got to work for it for the Steelers.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to start with a year I remember as watching football. 1995, Super Bowl 30. With Neil O'Donnell.
Yeah, why'd you got to go there?
That's my first memory. I'm sorry. Everything gets good after that.
Yeah, what's next? The Packers? We got to go to the Packers right after that? Jeez. No, that's a great game, but not if you're a Steeler fan, I tell you.
Yeah, and Larry basically throw those two toes to Larry Brown, who ends up winning the MVP. So that was that's probably like. Because it's like first time I remember the Steelers in the Super Bowl. So I guess talk about that experience. Where were you, and were you like in how were you?
Yeah,
I was. Out after?
Of course. I was in New York, and I remember my mom sent me all this Steeler gear and AFC Championship stuff. Which that's the thing. That's the stupidest gear ever. Don't ever. I'll tell that to anybody. Don't ever wear we won the division shirt. You know what I mean? Second place. It's like a silver medal. Don't be wearing that shit. Only wear the winning championship stuff. But it's so I remember it was exciting because it was the Dallas Cowboys. So it was just a blast from the past.
That's true. And then your bond with your dad,
yeah. So, it was my family, and we were talking shit, and I was Steelers going to win, Cowboys going to win. So it was a lot of that energy, which was fun. And it was rough. And I think Slash should have played that whole game. I think
Cordell Stewart,
Cordell Stewart should have played the whole game. He was doing great. His numbers were great, and I think he should have played quarterback and just didn't do because he's so confusing. And that was before we had
that was all. He was the first.
There was a
guy I remember doing all that.
Yeah, now we have so many guys that do that. Where they run and even Cam looked great. I mean, for fucking how old is that guy? And he looked amazing. He looked like he was 20 yesterday. But got quarterbacks that can run and do all that stuff. And so, it was, I never liked O'Donnell. It's like, he was an idiot and he's just kind of one of those journeymen, and he just kind of, I don't know. We all Steel fans, we all say it was paid off, Jerry Jones paid him off, that's what we all say. Because it just was there was nobody there.
Nobody there, I would watch it again.
You're like, really? And we've lucked out on some Super Bowls and, got calls we shouldn't have gotten and shit. I get that. But that was just the craziest thing. I was just like, come on. So, so that was rough. It was rough,
Yeah.
And it was rougher because it was the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably was worse. But I'm going to move on to a game on Thanksgiving in 1998 in Detroit. Jerome Bettis, they're tied in overtime. Yeah. And then they have that infamous coin flip, which Bettis calls tails, but he heard heads, but the referee, they reviewed it back and Jerome said head and then switched to tails and he switched his head. So that was a game I remember as watching
Well, let me say this. We've learned a lot in the NFL. We've learned a lot through the years. I think if we could do it over again, we would give Dan Marino a championship. We've learned a lot. There's certain players that added to the game that never got their glory. They never got to raise that and never got those calls that would help them get to that point. And so guys like Jerome Bettis were just, I I'm not saying it's right. I mean, God knows how many boxing matches we watched that were fucking fixed or whatever. There's like,
boxing,
so
definitely.
many games, basketball too. This guy's
Uh-huh.
throwing bricks and shit when they need it to sink it. So in sports in general, you wonder about the relationship between the ref and the players and the things. But everybody loved Bettis. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like when you're a good fucking dude and there's a ref that's like whatever, it's like he's gonna, hey, let me help you out. He was so nice to me. Probably signed 3 jerseys before the game and gave them to his kids. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of guy he is. Like I've been at SiriusXM, he let people put on his ring. Like he's a cool dude.
Wow.
He's like a cool dude.
Yeah, he looks like it. Yeah.
So it's like I think a lot of that sometimes the refs are humans too and fans, and maybe some shit gets shady, but as long as it works in my favor, I don't give a shit.
I'll fast forward. 2004, one of the greatest drafts I think in NFL history. Ben Roethlisberger, 11th pick in the draft. You have like guys like Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers. They're all basically going to the Hall of Fame. Then you got Larry Fitzgerald and guys. And then that rookie year, Tommy Maddox gets hurt. It's injured in week 2. And then Ben goes basically undefeated for the season. They end up going 15-1.
Yeah.
So talk about, I guess, seeing Big Ben on the field and like the impact he made right away. Did you see it coming? Did you know? Or
I went to high school for a second with Tommy Maddox, so that was.
Oh, get out of here!
I went to 2 different high schools, and so it was a big deal for him to be playing on the Steelers, and it was like he was a sweetheart of a guy and a good player. He just kind of wasn't built for the game. There's certain guys that just don't know how to take hits. I mean, that's one thing Ben can do. Even though he's been out hurt a lot, he can take a lot of hits. A lot of people can't, and so that was pretty brutal, actually, the way Maddox went out. And yeah, man. I mean, it's you could tell right off the bat this kid was hungry and kind of had like that Brady thing when Bledsoe got hurt. Like these guys, they wait for these moments. It's unfortunate these moments, but for the other player. But yeah, man. I mean, it's something special. You could see that he was mobile and he could kind of like play on the fly, and that's what you kind of need, in this game, is be able to make these decisions. So he seemed like a smart player that could kind of, make decisions. And like, I just love the way he's just like 9 guys try to take him down. And then just fucking, he's got one sock on and his fucking helmet's off. He fucking finds a way to just toss one in. And it's so much fun to watch. And, I feel like Bradshaw was scrappy, but we really hadn't had a scrappy quarterback like that since Bradshaw. So he reminded me of kind of that Bradshaw mentality of kind of just, running around and being a man out there, taking hits and just doing what he has to do to get a win.
Yeah. So Ben's rookie year is amazing. And then the following year, I mean, it pays off. Like everything clicks. They go back to the Super Bowl and, they play the Seahawks. And where were you and how did you feel when they went to the Super Bowl? Like, this could be it,
Yeah, it was exciting. I mean, it was a pretty shitty game. That's another like, hey Bettis, I'm gonna look this way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that was a good. I don't know if it was a great game, but it was, it's just fun when your team's in the Super Bowl every time.
Absolutely,
it doesn't matter. Even like that, Super Bowl 2 years ago, that was everybody complained about, the Rams, and, the Patriots.
Patriots.
It was kind of like,
what are you gonna do?
It was that kind of game, kind of, and but yeah, it was great for Bettis. But what I took away from that Super Bowl was that a lot of refs are Steeler fans, but beyond that, I took away, there's nothing more manly than your fucking quarterback tackling a dude with his hand. Like basically took him down with his hand, just on his ankle, just took him down with his arm, just like bam. Yeah. That was, on his back, and just was able to tackle him with his fucking hand. I thought that, to me, that was the coolest thing ever. Because that guy was headed to, I guess, I don't know the exact play, but it was a fumble or something, and he was headed towards it. Bettis fumbled, it's going in. So it's like, it was just, just this amazing one. But yeah, I was glad to get the win. I won some money on it. It was a nice, the Steelers were kind of like, it was just kind of, people like it when the Steelers, it's a nostalgic thing too. So it was kind of cool, I think, for
absolutely.
a lot of people, for them to actually win a Super Bowl. It was so long,
So yeah, you got the Heinz Ward wins the MVP. The following year they go 8-8, missed the playoffs, and that's Bill Cowher's last year. So talk about how you felt when Bill Cowher was like, yeah, this is it for me.
It's weird with Cowher. I have such a love-hate with all the coaches, except Noel. Noel's kind of a saint, but
Yeah.
I felt like he did an amazing job at. Some coaches are they just have different skill sets for the team. I think some coaches can kind of pick the team, if you will. And like so I felt like he really did such a good job in drafts and like figuring out who would be like the perfect people like that would actually grow with the team. So I felt Cowher really brought that to the team. I don't know if he had quite the player connection, but I feel like he really pieced that team together in a beautiful way. And he's definitely, he's a Hall of Famer as well, and he did a great job, and like he was able to, get the team. But I feel he kind of left on frustration. I feel like he just thought we were having a dynasty and stuff.
Yeah, after a Super Bowl, you would think, it's like, oh, okay, maybe that CBS money is pretty good. I don't know.
That's the thing, man. It's like, people feel like, the people wonder why people, retire and stuff. It's just like, man, that broadcaster money, man. It's like you don't get hit. You don't have to deal with any of it. You don't have to yell at people. You don't have players stressing you out. Or assistant coaches stressing you out. That's a beautiful gig, man. So I feel like I feel like he had a great impact on the Steelers. But like I said, I think it was like, and then people, it's like when someone does that, a lot of coaches get to benefit off their laurels of like the team, and so I think that's definitely what he did.
Yeah, that was great. So he's gone. The following year, 2007, Mike Tomlin's in. They win the division like at 10-6, but then they lose the wild card to Jacksonville. Like you said before, it's like one of those like it's frustrating to watch. Like just like the Steelers get like upset by one team. They were built to like, all right, let's see how far they go, and then
Steelers have a problem that I see a lot of comedians have. They just way too much ego. And there's a cockiness of a steel. It goes everywhere. It goes to the coaches. It goes the management the owners are amazing, but there's still this thing about it. But even Steeler fans drive me crazy. I'm like, dude, it's like you're so fucking cocky. You're talking shit. It's like you're gonna lose to the Jets if you keep talking. So it's like so there's a lot of like. But that happens. But sometimes a good loss helps a team the next year. So but that was rough. I remember that game. Oof,
because the following year, back to the Super Bowl again, against Arizona Cardinals, and that was a tight game too.
That was a tight game. That was a wonderful Super Bowl. I think that's top 10. That's as far as game. That's a top 10 Super Bowl. That's a good.
Because Pittsburgh was up like pretty much, and then Larry Fitzgerald ran that. They ran that 68.
Great.
And then,
and Kurt Warner, how do you not root for that guy? So it was like, it was a good Super Bowl. And I remember I was at it was like a stand-up New York party or something, and it was just like it was all these comics, and there was this one comic that I don't like very well, and he was just like up in my face. People talk, people talk shit. Well, there goes the flag.
Yep, there goes the
people talk shit, and they're not sports fans. They just
they don't know. They want to be a part of something. They don't know.
They just want to upset you. It's like so they say stupid shit. So anyway, it was like right when the Steelers, it looked like they were going to lose, and then it was just like down to like I think it was I don't know how much time was left. It was a very short amount of time. It was like a minute something, and the end zone. Santonio Holmes he threw to the left side of the field of the end zone, and he missed it. And then he did the exact same play, but to the right side of the field. And he just did this drag toe and catch. Just
beautiful.
It was gorgeous. And it was just like he was never the same after that. Talk about ego. But it was like the greatest ending. When a Super Bowl's end like that, it's so much fun. When there's just like you think your team's gonna lose and then they win. And so that was the last one. That was we lost to the Packers, and that sucked. And
I was about to get a couple years later they go 12-4, and then they lose to the Packers. So
that was a good Packers team.
Yeah, great Packers team.
I take that one with my head up high. That was a strong time. There was no way Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to show what he could do. And that
he needed
that freaking defense. And Ben's never been scared, but he was scared by that defense.
Yeah, it was Hawk, AJ Hawk and
Matthews.
Yeah, you couldn't do nothing about that.
He was like, you could tell, you see it in his eyes. That's the only time I've ever seen him kind of like intimidated by defense. And he was like, and they were putting him on the ground all day. So it was like, that was a rough one. But, and it was here's another kicker on that one. It was in Dallas Stadium. So
their first Super Bowl. Yeah.
And I was, and so it was like, I just, but, we're, it's been a decade. So we're really hoping that maybe some things will turn around.
Yeah. So, but I mean, things look good, like coming up. I'll skip to 2013. I mean, now you got the killer bees. You have Le'Veon Bell, who was at the time was emerging as the best running back in the game, and Antonio Brown was emerging as the best wide receiver in the game. So you got all these tools, offensive weapons.
Tools is right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See how you use the word tool with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. Like, I mean, dummies. They had it good in Pittsburgh. Like, what are you doing? Like, people, you were gods. Like, Le'Veon Bell, what's he doing? He got no line. Boy, I bet he missed that. I bet he missed.
Well, he got
Steelers
hurt.
line.
As a Jet fan, I watched. Yeah, he got hurt yesterday, and I was like,
Did he get hurt?
Yeah. And Adam Gase puts him back in. He's like, it's just really,
because they got no line. The Steelers take care of you, man. That line is amazing. Ben buys them Rolexes. Like, that line is phenomenal.
Takes care of, takes them out to dinner.
Yeah.
But that team looked like it was moving in the right direction. 2016, they go 11-5, and then they get to the AFC Championship against the Pats.
Yeah.
Which is not the greatest game. So they go 36. I mean, they lose 36-17, and talk about watching that game and because I know you hate Brady like everybody else. So
I actually don't hate Brady.
You don't? Okay.
No, Brady is the best thing that ever happened to football, in my opinion, and he's also the best thing that ever happened to 40-years. So
I don't know about after yesterday.
He looked good. He looked all right. I mean, he got a
new team. Yeah, you got a new team, new coaches. I mean, so it's going to be
defense.
Different.
That's a good defense, and that's one game.
Yeah,
that's one thing about that guy is he finds a way to kind of rise up after the ashes, and we saw that in the Atlanta Super Bowl. But I think it's that game sucked, and but it was really like the Chiefs are what the Pats were, nobody's getting past. In my opinion, nobody's beating the Chiefs in the next 3 years.
So Mahomes is a god, man.
I mean, our defense is the only hope of somebody that might get them hurt or take down some of the, be able to
rattle them a bit.
Interceptions and shit. Like, that's the only, our defense is one of the few I think that could maybe rattle them if they come together as a unit. But that sucked, but and the Pats have brought us down a lot, and then there was that one game where the knee was down, but it wasn't, whatever. So it was like that kind of bullshit. So, it's been rough. It's been rough. The Patriots have definitely, taken a lot.
Yeah, they
of
got
shots
everybody's number.
Yeah, they do. And Belichick Cam Newton. That's another guy who's like 102, and Belichick's. I mean, he's not gonna be able to run like that. I mean,
absolutely not. Yeah, he's gonna hurt. Yeah. At this point in his career, somebody's gonna take him out
because he talks shit the whole game. That's why they try to grab his necklace. Like he's gonna get hurt, man.
Yeah. So I remember 2017, the following year after they lose to the Pat, Dan Rooney, the owner of the Steelers, passes away. What was your thoughts on Dan Rooney? They owned it since the dawn of time, the Rooney family.
It's a phenomenal organization. You see a lot of teams that have problems, and a lot of it has to do with ownership. My buddy's a Jets fan. I was talking about the Browns. There's certain organizations, unfortunately, that they don't have the kind of family ran organizations like the Rooneys have, and and come on, the Rooneys, they're a big component of Obama and shit. Like
they're all about progression.
Yeah, they are. They got a black coach. Before a lot of people did. And so, and it's, they're just a good organization, and, they kind of know what to do with their players when they act up, and, act a fool and things like that. And so, it's great. I'm glad to, be a part of a team, and it looks like everybody else in the family knows what they're doing as well. So.
Yeah, that year they end up winning. Well, they went 13-3, so they were like pretty dominant with the Killer Bees, but they got upset by Jacksonville in the divisional.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
round.
Jacksonville's, they kind of got our number. They do. They got us.
Yeah,
like
when they want to be good, yeah.
There's certain teams. They kind of like how the Jets kind of had the Patriots number for certain.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, once in a while.
They do, but not when it
once
counts.
Once in a while. Once in a while.
So 2018. Le'Veon Bell holds out for the whole entire season. He's like,
what a dummy. What a dummy.
And then both star players, and Brown, act up too. Like they go 9-6-1 that year. And then they trade Brown to Oakland. So you're losing the parts that, you're like, all right, like you said, the tools.
Yeah.
Like, so no love lost when they were gone. You were like, yep. Let him go.
Yeah, I mean, it's I really, Juju Schuster, who obviously replaced Brown, he kind of had a rough season, the season after that. So hopefully this year because he's very talented, and hopefully this year he's able to heal up and do what he can do. Because I think one thing that's good about the Steelers is like, when they create a star. There's also 3 other guys that are mentoring in that position as well. So it's like they're really good at losing somebody and replacing somebody. So it's like, Washington's an amazing receiver. It's like there's certain guys that, that they're able to kind of put in there that can do the job. So I feel like when you lose one guy, it sucks because they're splash players, but then, but look what happened to Antonio. He wasn't right. And so, and a lot of it, and he took down the team, that's the thing about a football team. It's like, you've been in sports, I've been in sports, and it's like, it's really, the locker room's important, the morale of the team.
Yep.
And then now there's a whole nother element that nobody ever had in the 70s, where it's like, social media and fucking,
that's
all
another
that
thing you got to deal with.
All that stuff affects the team. And so when you're bad mouthing your quarterback and you're the wide receiver, or you're doing this or the team or whatever, it's like, it hurts the team's morale, and it hurts play. And so I think it was really rough. And I felt like we're still recovering from all of that. And so last year was a good recovery year. And hopefully this year there's not any drama. There's not even going to be crowds. So
nobody could throw anything.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens. But it was rough. We had a really, really good thing going, and I really feel those guys regret it. I bet if you were able to talk to them about
they'll probably they'll change their tune.
Yeah, because that was they really had a good thing going, and they would have been gods in Pittsburgh. And now they're just guys that float around to other teams and just, always in trouble and always it's all about the money and the thing.
Yeah.
It is about that. And I don't think, and I do agree with Le'Veon Bell to a certain extent. I agree that, certain guys, sometimes the quarterback or certain positions have a tendency to get, more recognition and paid more and things like that. So running back to me, just as important. I understand all that. But the thing was, the Steelers tried to cut a deal that was more money than he ended up taking for the Jets. He decided he could go over there and be the big fish in a little
fish
pond.
In a small pond, very little pond.
And it ended up backfiring on him.
Yeah. So last year, Ben towards his UCL and out for the season. So that was a big blow. He had to get Tommy John surgery. I never heard a football player getting Tommy John surgery, but it makes sense because it's a quarterback and you're using your arm. Yeah. So now, like last year was a crazy season because Ben's out. And then you have the incident week 11, Mason Rudolph's the quarterback now. And then you have that incident in Cleveland where he gets hit with the helmet. Talk about were you watching that game and and talk about when you saw Myles Garrett swing full on the helmet. And
that's just that division is rough, man. It's
Yeah.
like that division. They just hate
Cleveland,
each
Cincinnati,
other. Baltimore. I mean,
Baltimore.
they
Yeah.
all just hate each other, man. I mean, it's like a gang fight. It's like Bloods and
Yeah,
Crips
the Crips.
when those fucking guys are on the field, man. You know,
It's the Latin
it's like,
Kings. Who's
it
the
really
Latin Kings?
is. I'm waiting. One day, somebody's just gonna pop a piece out in the middle of the third quarter. You know, it's like, it's crazy. So it's just, you know, there's a lot of that stuff going on. And unfortunately, I mean, it makes for good football, you know, in the sense of like rivalries and people, you know, good hits. But it gets dirty, man. And I don't, you know, it's like, you know, if your team, it's fine. But when it's coming on you, you're like, all right, this is ridiculous, you know, but, you know, it's like, but I also understand what it is to be a man and what it is to have adrenaline and what it is to, you know, those guys, they're basically, you know, we get mad we get mad when somebody bumps us in the street or something. The whole game. I mean, people are like, I don't know why there's fights in hockey. Because you're getting fucking clipped and hit, and you just snap in the middle.
And these are not normal people. These are like 250, especially football, almost 300-pound guys just
and they've
rubbing against you.
They've never been picked on until now. So it's like, because there's a guy just as big as them. So it's like they get like, you know, the adrenaline and the male ego and it's all peacocks, you know. So everybody's out there bumping chests and shit's going to happen. I don't think the racist stuff happened. I think that's some crazy shit.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, but
I
like
think
something to make news.
Bullshit. I think that was some bullshit. I think he was trying to like save his job and say some bullshit to sensationalize this poor kid who was just out there trying to play football. I'm not saying he's a saint, but and he probably said some shit, but I don't think
because I remember he pulled Myles Garrett's helmet off first. Well, he tried to, and then he
got heated.
Myles,
It's like, but that happens. There was, I think, a game yesterday got heated with somebody. They tried to pull Cam's chain. People talk shit. I wish. This is what I really wish. I posted it yesterday. I was like, first of all, they need to take all that fake crowd noise out. I think that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard of. Stop with that shit. You know what I mean? It's like an episode. It's like an episode of MASH.
It's like just a fake laugh.
Yeah, it gets fake. It's like
laugh track.
We don't need it because adapt to the situation. But I think they should mic up the players like they do on NFL, NBA, some of the TV shows and stuff they do. But it'd be great if they did the game live like that. I mean, they'd have to put it on HBO probably.
You can't. Yeah, I think because there'll be too many words we can't. A lot of dump button. That guy, whoever presses the dump button, he'll have a lot of work to do.
Beep beep beep.
Yep.
But anyway, it's like, but that's what it is. That's part of the game. They talk shit. I have family and stuff that play football at pretty high level. My cousin Devin Chafin, he played starting running back for Baylor. And he was on his way to, kind of a great career. And then he kind of had some problems because Baylor kind of fell apart with a lot of their staff and stuff. But and he got caught with weed and it was like a whole thing. But it's
a lot of pressure. I mean, to get, when you get to that level, there's so many people watching you and so many things like weed. It sucks, because it's marijuana, but, it's so much pressure. Like,
well, I think he was just doing stupid shit. They just brought a bunch of edibles. They tried to transport some edibles in a car. Through Oklahoma and like some troopers, racist shit, so whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was really good. But I had a buddy that, that played for Columbia and stuff, and and that's not a real football team.
Like what? Columbia.
They still suit up, they're still men. But he would just tell me, on the bottom of a pile, everybody's like, "Fuck your mother, you're a fucking pussy."
Oh yeah, I could see
like, you piece of shit. They're biting your arm.
Yeah, there's a lot of dirty stuff in between where the refs can't see. They can't see everything.
No.
Yeah, similar to boxing when guys hit each other low, they were like, the refs on this side. All right, bam.
Yeah, but it's even easier to get away with it in like football, So they're like in piles.
There's so much. So much meat. So much meat on top of each other.
So you don't know what's happened up until the point. You don't know what like they did to him. He don't know what you did to him. So they might have been, poking his eyes or whatever. And then by the time it gets to that point of that level of what's happening, guys snap. Even quarterbacks will throw a punch. So it's like So I think it's just the name of the game.
Yeah. So now we're up to speed. 2020, new season, COVID-19 hit, but we're playing a season. So Steelers play the Giants tonight. How do you see this new season going for you guys?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. It's nice to have sports back. I think during the pandemic, it's like I always say, it's very important. It's very important for men to watch other men do what we can't do.
Yeah.
It's probably how women feel when they watch porn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was fun. Basketball was on, and that was nice. And I'm kind of a Mavericks fan. Everything else is Texas, Dallas.
Gotcha.
Only Steelers is football. But I do. But so when to get back up, to the NFL starting, it's great, man. It feels so good for it to be going again. The Thursday night game was phenomenal. The freaking Chiefs look unstoppable.
Yeah.
And wow, that was scary. And that was weird too, because they had like 17,000 people in the crowd. That bothers me too.
Yeah, I think I think it depends on the state you play in, and like, 'cause I know Jersey's not letting any fans in.
Yeah, that's
but like Kansas City, I guess we're like, let them in, let a couple people in.
A couple people, 70,000.
Yeah, a couple 70,000.
As far as I'm concerned. So that's about what the Jets have every game. Even, even pre-COVID.
Yeah, that is
true. So down to and the thing is like the Giants. I love the Giants. It's kind of my New York team. My buddy's a Giants fan, Tommy over the comic strip, and like we're buddy, and we've watched a lot of Super Bowls and games together and stuff. And that one Super Bowl where they beat the Patriots was amazing. That first one, the Eli won on the helmet. That was such a good
because you
Super
mentioned
Bowl.
before how like Steelers are a family organization. Giants had that same mantra or that same path too. They have the same follow the same.
And there's actually, they're related. That one of them married into the family. So
Steelers, get out of here.
Yeah, there's a daughter.
So a lot of bloodlines running between the Steelers and the Giants.
Yeah,
wow, that's crazy.
It's like a Giants girl married one of the Rooneys or something. There's something happening there. I have to know specifics, but anyway, there's like an in-law thing happening. So I like the Giants, and here's the deal. I've always liked the Giants as kind of my New York team. And then there was a game. It was right after Sandy, the hurricane that happened in the Northeast. And I remember going to it was a Giants Steelers game, and I show up
MetLife, right?
MetLife, Giants Steelers. This is how long ago it was. I had Pete Davidson seats because we were buddies back then.
That's when he knew people.
Yeah, exactly. That's when he used to talk to people. Yeah. And so we got these great seats, these 9/11 seats. That they after his dad, they gave him these seats for life. These amazing seats, and so we're like, at the stadium, everything's cool. And I'm wearing, Steelers stuff, and my girl's wearing Steelers stuff. And then, there's these two drunk fuckers behind us, and it's like they won't stop harassing us.
Man.
And they're just like, Steelers suck. I said, dude, we're not even like, we barely play
we're not,
each other.
we're not,
we never play each other. Like,
and you're probably like, I'm just having fun. I'm not talking shit or whatever. So football fans are like the worst.
It was horrible. And they were, drunk football fans are the worst. And drunk kids who get their parents' seats and whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's like this weird thing. And so they were kind of fucking with us the whole game. It was really funny because the Steelers were losing the whole game. And then who's the guy, Steeler, he's a wide receiver. He ended up going to Miami. He was real fast.
Mike Wallace?
Mike Wallace. So Mike Wallace catches one. And so it was one of those kind of things. But anyway, I'll get to where you want me to get. I just want to explain.
Yeah, it's fine. No. We got time.
So these guys are fucking with us. And then to the point where I'm like, Leah, we got to go. Like, these guys are too much. And so we end up leaving. We're going to, so let's just watch the rest of the game down in the jumbo, down by the concession stands. So we go down, we walk down. And then Wallace catches one, and they run it in, and then they score. I think they scored twice or something, a field goal and a touchdown or something. So they win this game, and I'm all the way almost out of the thing, and I run back up to our seats, and I'm like, I go, ha, 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 we fucking won, and I'm like waving my towel and shit. Just to go back and fuck with these people. They were messing with us the whole game. So I'm not a Giants fan anymore. So I used to be a Giants fan.
Yeah,
and
but
if I have to have a New York team, I guess I'll let that go when I need to.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to murder them. But I think it's going to be a rusty game because Ben is a rusty quarterback, and even when he's had preseason games
coming back.
but
There's no preseason either this year.
But I think the defense is going to score 3 touchdowns, and I think Ben's going to have 2 picks, but we're going to win by 14. That's my prediction. It's going to be a sloppy game, but we're going to have some splash plays, and I think it's going to be a pretty black and gold game, but it should be fun to watch. I'm excited to watch it. It really gets you going. It's let's say football's normalcy, for us, and it's like every year the Steelers. I come out of the September with all this hope. And then it's usually gone
then by
December.
Thanksgiving. You're like,
Now by December usually, because we make the playoffs. I forget you're a Jets fan.
Jets fan, unfortunately. I suffer a lot.
I'm just
used to it.
But I don't know what's worse. It's almost worse to like go into January with hope. You know what I mean? I'd rather have it done by November. Yeah.
I mean, throughout I'll trade you. Throughout the years, you've seen Super Bowl wins. Jets haven't been in a Super Bowl since 1960. We still talk about Joe Namath. That's like, I shouldn't know anything about Joe Namath, but like that's the only thing.
I like Joe Namath.
It sucks, man. Yeah.
He's a rock star, though. He's a rock star.
Yeah, he is.
He's the coolest. He's the coolest football player.
Coolest guy. Yep.
Next to like Jim Brown that's ever existed.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like he's
still has the key to the city. Yep.
Yeah. So wears a fur coat. He's wearing a fur coat on the sidelines. How fucking hilarious is that?
Like it's September.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a game in Pittsburgh?
I have not. The only game I've ever been to was that one. It was the MetLife.
Oh, okay. So that was the only game.
That's the only live game fortunately.
Because I'm curious to see how. I mean, I drove by Heinz Field and it looks great. And I'm just curious to see how that.
I want to go. That's when it's been. It's on the bucket list. I want to go. I was this year. I was hoping.
Yeah, I know. And just like
I almost planned it out actually, but I don't know. Maybe later in the season they'll do some tickets, but it'd be impossible to probably get tickets.
Yeah, it'd probably be. Yeah, definitely.
Even if they do like a small capacity or whatever, but like the Chiefs. But anyway, it looks amazing. I'd love to go.
Yeah. All right. This has been fun, Dustin. Thank you so much for hopping on with us and
thank you.
Talking about your Steelers.
What's your prediction? What's your prediction for the game? What do you think?
I'll give it Steelers by a field goal.
Oh, nice. You're keeping it close.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of no preseason, so a lot of people are just feeling things out. This might be these first 2 or 3 weeks are going to be very interesting. To see how these guys who haven't played, who haven't practiced a lot with all that's going on, just get it together. It's going to be definitely an interesting season, not for only the NFL, but for all sports. You see the NBA. Nobody saw the Miami Heat, I think, going to the, Eastern Conference Finals, let alone they're probably favorite to, go to the NBA Finals now because just the momentum they have after play stopped. You know what I'm saying? So everybody had to hit a reset. And some players, it was so unpredictable. Some players were like, we're probably not going to play. So I'm just going to see either players were training and working out in the backyard or whatever, or they were just sitting on their ass and we're not playing. Nothing's going to happen. Same with baseball. They were like, we're not playing. So, it's everything in sports, hockey too. It's just everything is interesting right now.
Sure. No, you're right. As a Mavericks fan, that was a rough one. I mean, that one Clippers game really got us going. And then it was like,
Yeah.
But, that team's going to be good though in about 2 years.
Luka and KP. I remember KP was the Knick. So I hated to see KP go because there's so much potential there. But I know he got hurt again or whatever. So the writings to have a guy that tall and to keep him healthy is it's very difficult in my opinion. A lot, you see guys like Yao Ming had a short career. He was 7'5" and, I saw, I think his career would have been better had it been healthy. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, the guy that played in Cleveland for so long with LeBron, and he's missed a bunch of seasons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So guys that big, I guess it's just unreal. If they have leg or ankle problems, I think it's just definitely going to be hard for those guys to stay around. So KP, all right, hopefully as a Knicks fan, it's a blessing in disguise that we did get rid of him, even though we didn't really get anything back from him.
Yeah. That's another team that needs better management. You need to
they're the worst. I root for the worst teams. I root for the Mets, Jets, and the Knicks. Just terrible organizations up and down. I'm hoping like as a Met fan, like hoping to go just drive by Citi Field one day and just get in, and they'll probably let me play at this point. It's so bad.
It's bad. Yeah, I was kind of an Astros fan for a minute, and then now if you were an Astros fan, that's like wearing a Trump hat.
That's true.
You get the same amount of respect.
Last year, like, yeah, you cheat.
But Steelers, I think that defense is going to surprise you. I think I bet Bush and Hayden score touchdowns. That's what I say.
Nice.
All right, go Steelers!
Thank you, Dustin. Anything you want to plug before you go, my brother?
Let's see. Yeah, man. So I got an album coming out, which is it's gonna be on Twitch TV premiering. I'll let you know on the dates. Just go to my
absolutely. Go
to my website, DustinChafin.com, or you.
And it's a Zoom, and it was a Zoom show, correct? It wasn't
Zoom. It was a Zoom show. I did it live. I did two. That's the thing is like the bar is so low, and this quarantine that I wrote all the time, and I wrote a whole new hour. And so I got to perform it. It was a lot of fun. We did, we did it right. We had some sound engineers come in. It's going to sound good, and I'm really excited about it. So I'll let you know about that. Just
I definitely want to watch it. I mean, it's definitely a new experience for anybody if you're a comedy fan.
Sure.
Just doing Zoom albums and how I remember doing it a couple of Zoom shows. I thought I was skeptical of them, but they were fun. They were there. Every Zoom show I've done is very fun.
And I did this a little different. I did the backdrops, and I stood up, and I had a mic and a stand, and I didn't do it just like hey, how's it going? Half your eye, I did it. Like it looks like a special, so it should be good. I had mannequin heads, and it was a whole fucking thing.
Nice, man. Whole big production.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man. You can follow me on Instagram so much. And all that stuff. But
all your info's on the ticker. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, buddy.
And I'm looking forward to the album, man. Take care.
Thank you. This is a lot of fun. All right, go Jets, huh?
Go, yeah. Hopefully, man.
Take care, buddy.
I
think we play them. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. All right, man. All right, guys. That was Dustin Chafin. Follow him on his social medias, or as you see on the ticker. Follow us at Root for Laundry, and don't forget to watch Dustin's special on Zoom. I guarantee it'll be great. All right, take care. Next week, we're going to have an interesting one. It's going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. And follow us at Root for Laundry. My name is Johnny McDonald. Have a good one. Take care.